Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models. Okay, this is live action Thursday. They canceled music night, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this live action video going for you. The video is gonna be on the 1/48 scale Javelin by Airfix, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the wings joined together, and we're gonna get the rudder and stabilizer done, and do a little sanding, everything prepared for priming, and everything else will be done off camera. And so probably be a couple of live action videos coming up. I got the PBY Catalina by Airfix 72 I'm going to be doing. And probably be working on that Hell Dive right there. And tonight we're going to have the final reveal on the R6B Constitution, the Big C. Want to get her done. And tomorrow we'll have the final reveal on the Warhawk. I get the maskings done on the canopy, so all I got to do is just paint the interior green and paint the yellow drab over it. And that'll fill the bill for the P40 she's done. And I got the Voice Fit 110 going. Then I'm going to start turning to that B20, that DC6 Cloudmaster, because I got the new decals for it yesterday. So I'm very happy about that. And we got the Admiral York coming your way too. So I got a lot of stuff coming, guys. And I'm going to try to get all these models done and I'll ship them to storage so I'm going to have some room. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras right now so we can watch this thing. Get your favorite beverage of choice, whatever you want to do, and make sure the kids are okay, mom was taken care of. And what time you got left, Bill along will be and join me in. And I'll be here about 35 minutes, maybe 45 to an hour at the most video. I'll probably take a 5-minute break there. When I take a 5-minute break, you guys take a 5-minute break too, and we'll come back and don't have to worry about syncing your watches. We'll come back and get started on the thing. Okay, thus far, I'm assembling this. It's going together very well. There's no fit issues at all. You just got to be careful. Make sure that when you're joining the parts, make sure that they make properly. And the wings, you got to make sure they fit good. The wings present no gaps at all. Way I look at it, this kit that will not receive no filler at all. I can't see putting any filler on this thing. You don't need it. So that's how I likes it. Okay, enough chatter. We're going to swing cameras and get the build started. Okay, camera's friendly. You're friendly. I'm always friendly. Let's get friendly with a new camera. Okay, guys, here he is. Alrighty. Before you is exploded views. I got the wings and the fuselage. Now, another thing on the fuselage right here, I just noticed. And I seen a few, I double checked to see if this was a mistake that I made. My reference points on builders on YouTube. See if it was my fault or it was normal. And I found out it's normal. Let me show you something here. Right here, there's a step right there, step there too. As I turn it over, it's flush across here how it was joined across here. So I knew they got it right. Well, this is made on purpose. This was done on the actual aircraft. It is just the way it was designed. I thought I plugged up or something on there. So I was like, wait a second now, Frank, before you see it any further, man, there's got to be some correction. Maybe this has to press down so it's flush across here, but that's not the case. Made modeler John West, I looked at Alan West, I looked at his. He has the same thing on his. There's a couple other builders too who've done the same thing, and they're the same thing on theirs, so it's normal. Okay, so I corrected myself. I just kind of keep myself on my toes on this build. I want to screw this thing up. So therefore, I went ahead and used cross-reference on there to see if I made a mistake or it was actually done that way on purpose by design. So it's done by design. Okay, first off, before we join these wings together, I'm going to get this thing done as a unit We're going to get the rudders, the elevators, stabilizers, all assembled before we join the wings on. That way the airplane's in entirety, and I can be able to go ahead and do some sanding on it, prepare for painting. I want to tell you something. This is a very enjoyable kit to build, guys. It truly is. It really is. It just goes together by itself. Just the way the design of it, it builds itself. Okay, that's good. Now, this is a pretty radical design airplane at the time, but the English always had some good aircraft. As to the Javelin, they had a few problems when it first came out. Like most airplanes do, you just got to work out the bugs. That's how you're gonna find these problems. You got to be used over and over again until something arises, and it could happen again to the next fellow. So the test pilots are actually the servicemen who fly these airplanes. The only test pilots they use in these things is a guy out there who works for the company, Vickers, Hawker, Avro, all these other countries like that. I mean, all these other companies, they got their own test pilots. And their test pilots test out the product, and they say, "Yep, it's good." I say, "Go ahead and sell it to the government. They can use it. It's okay." But they know better. They know they're going to run into some kind of problem. So the problems always arise when they're in service. They had a lot of hydraulic problems, and also the ejectors. The ejection seats wouldn't work sometimes, so they had to fix those problems. Now you look at the instrument panel of this here airplane. Man, you talk about some intricate engineering involved. I mean, the English are great for that. I'll tell you another country is good at that too, is the Japanese, Japan. You gotta see the wiring and stuff they people use. Whew. Man, that's really some intricate stuff. I guess this motor's immovable. Stabilizers are functional, and so is the rudder, because you got a little lip right there where it plugs in, and right across there, a little nipple sticking up. It plugs in the top of the rudder. So they may have the sandwiches in first before I glue them together. Anyway, they come in halves. It's going to get cold tonight. Yeah, I clean up these parts as I go along. Always get a good buffing. This plastic they use is very soft plastic that the Hornby's Indians use on the Hornby. Not the standard Airfix plastic we normally get when we're younger. The old cats, so really hard plastic. But this plastic here is almost like vinylized plastic. But I like it. It's good plastic. It's different. Very easy to sand. Very easy. Very easy to sand, I say. Got those out, make sure this is good. Yeah. That's got to be sandwiched together before we do the halves in. Just like I thought. I should have thought. You sure should. Yep, I was right. Alrighty then. Sandwich this in. What the hell? Yeah, there we go. Wow. Little fumble fingers here. Yeah, here we go. I'll be goddamn. There. One good stab is it. Boy, I think really yeah, put a little clamp on there, give it a little extra assurance. Let it dry. Wonderful. The goddamn will stick to it, don't it? You damn. Those damn binder clips are good for just flat edges only, not contour. Yeah, so it's pretty much in there. Yeah, they're pretty functional. Okay, let that dry for a second. Clean up the stabilizer and elevators. Get them assembled. Then we go ahead and assemble the airplane. Yep, I hope we have a good Thanksgiving this year, guys. This be my brother's last Thanksgiving. We'll try to give him a good dinner and give him a good time, you know. It's so depressing right now. I'll try to keep my mind off of it. That's part of life, guys. That's another thing with old age. The older you get, more family members pass away, more people who you know pass away. Before you know it, you'll be sleeping in a single bed the rest of your life. But you fellas and my models is the only thing I got left in life. I keep myself busy. It keeps my mind going and keeps me clear. And pylons down there. Yeah, these stabilizers are very small. They're all one piece, so they feel like they're halves, but they're not. They're all one piece. That's been cleaned. Alright, these been cleaned. Let's see if these things got any. Oh hell, these just plug right in. Yep, these got to be glued. This hobby shop I go to now don't have too much good plastic in there. Most of the plastic is nothing but stuff that means nothing to me. Kits that I can't use. A lot of you fellas got some damn good hobby shops out there. I see them on YouTube all the time. I see stuff like that and says, wow. Man, it's a bloody shame we don't have hobby shops like this in Ohio like that. They mostly cater to these radio control boys. That's what they cater to. These guys with the cars, they like to race those cars all the time. Of course, you know, go to the territory out here in Ohio. Their culture and main interest out here is nothing but eating, sports, and fishing. And also NASCAR racing, cars. Although the birthplace of aviation, they don't. You got too many people there in aviation nowadays. Yeah. Get that stabilizer done. Yeah. Well, drop that out. Not too far. Like an apple, doesn't fall far from the tree. These are the piece I need to get out of here. Get out of the box. The rivet detail this here kit is very exceptional. I know one thing, it sure accepts washers real good. So you got a lot of detailed rivets in there that come in these kits. Don't apply too much primer on there, just do pre-shading. That's all the primer you need. But make sure your plastic is washed off first. Okay, I think it's pretty well dry. Get this top center section that goes here. Yeah. I just right up here on the huh. Yep, hold it where it sets, and I put that cap on top of that. Well, it's a little unorthodox to do this, but that's the way it says in the instructions how it goes. This top bit's across here like so. Yeah. Now, let's sit there for a second. There's another piece I didn't break out already. I know where that goes too. I should have known. Made a mistake, guys. I should have followed the instructions. This here fits on top here like this. I knew I couldn't figure out what alignment problem could be. But now I do know. I misread the instructions. My error, fellas. Even Frankie Dave makes mistakes. I should have caught it when I made those parts break out. These two parts that didn't break out, I thought they was it, and I kept trying to figure there's got to be a trick to putting these stabilizers on here somehow. Now I know. You got these little grooves right there where they go across, so they snap in. Now when you're putting your stabilizers on top of here, as you notice in the moldings, the ones in the circles, these, where am I? The circles right here, those circles go in the bottom. And you got that gray panel goes on top. Now this makes sense now. Now it makes perfect sense. There you go. Now you got to clamp this down. There we go. That's a good bingo right there. There you go. That's one tail set we done. Yeah. Well, it fits very good. See, ladies, this is a pretty well engineered kit. Very well engineered. Okay, we got these stabilizers right here. Elevators. They just plug right in. Just like that. Just like that. Come in and glue them in. Yeah. Wonderful. You just plug right in. Just like that. No fuss, no muss. And it fits up here. Oh, look at that. Man, it don't get any better than that. Yeah. Can we build this? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yeah. This to me a glue. It don't take long for this stuff to set up. It's just like magic. What it does is something, the formula they use as glue just dissolves the plastic and just melds it together. I could do a little sanding around there. I may acquire a little bit of filling in this area about here. A little bit of a gap right about here. No big deal. Just got to push hard. There's a gap there. I think I could be filled in with styrene dust and glue. Not too bad, that one over there. Just that one. Yeah. Secondly, now we got these pylons that fit underneath here. Their locations haven't been established yet, but I can only guess. Yep. When you put the wings on it, fellas, you look inside that wing right there, you'll see a track in there. It's like a tongue groove. These spars, make sure they fit right inside that track. In other words, if you ask you from it, don't get it in there, it's not going to fit too good, your wing. You got to make sure they fit inside that track how it was designed. And guess what? Magic, buddy. Magic. Okay, we're going to take about a 5-minute break and we'll be right back. And we're going to get the wings joined. And also we're going to get these pylons joined. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and give it a good sanding, and that'd be the video. So, you good fellows out there, get yourself a refreshment, get yourself another drink, whatever you need out there. I'm going to make a head call and fill up my reservoir full of root beer. I'm pissed off myself because I'm buying no damn jelly beans. Root beer and jelly beans are my favorite. Okay. Be back about 5 minutes, fellas. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Okay, back. All right, guys. Take note. On top of the fuselage here.
There we go. So now I know that it's...
Before I took the break, remember I addressed there's a lip up here? I thought that was normal, but I was wrong. This has got to be flush on top of the fuselage right here. What I did, I built this, I didn't follow the instructions properly. I didn't snap this thing down flush across there because and naturally, this thing went together so well. When it addressed itself on top of there, it actually looked like it was made to be that way, but I've seen some videos of this model here that's being built here. They don't, the lips are gone. They don't have no lip there, and I knew, that's why I knew I had a mistake there. So I went ahead and got my little sanding stick here. After I got the lip in there, I went ahead and get a good sanding like this, get a good flush. Then you can just buff it out real good to get the scratches out of there because you're going to put pre-shading on it and this ain't painted. What? Yeah, it takes a little time, but you got to get it down. You want to save. The thing about it is, guys, you don't want to continually use filler all the time and stuff. You always want to really get it down as best you can. That's good. I just might need a little smidging of filler right here. There's a smidgen. The same thing on the side here. It's no big deal. It's big deal. No big deal. I've seen other builds had nothing filler all over the place, and it just don't need it. So I made a tragic error right there. I straightened it out, and it's we're okay now. Also off camera, I installed those weapon pods right here. They used on there. That went up pretty good. Now I want to tell you something about this. You got alignment hole. You got alignment pegs. Comes each one of these here. You got one here, one here, one there, and one there. So you got previously drilled holes to the outside of the inside of the shells of the fuselage, so they can set these. So I got those off camera. Next, guys, we're going to go ahead and attach the wings and give it a little sanding here and there and call it the video. This thing's going to get it real well. I went down and got the last bottle, the last can of Umbro paint. This extra dark sea gray. I was very lucky. We no longer have Umbros here in America that I know of. Not in the hot shop I go, we don't. They got other acrylic paints out there. Okay, now, remember showing you a while ago the tongue groove right there that'll make sure the spars fit those tracks right there. Okay, we're going to glue. We're going to use this tube glue here. We're going to glue inside here for this purpose only. The rest will be done with Tamaya. Okay, starting with the port wing first, we're going to go ahead and apply some cement here.
Gourmet charcuterie. Everyday low prices. It's an Aldi thing.
The moment you're struck with a powerful instinct to protect the ones you love. This is your kingdom. Protect it fiercely.
Because you already stick your nozzle down so far. Just make sure it's, because once you slide it in, it's going to push that glue all the way up to the end.
Zoom in onto that in a moment and check that out. So now pins 3 and 4 on a tube like this.
Alrighty then.
Will be the actual coating pins.
Check and see if the spars inside those tongue grooves, and they are. They fit very nicely.
This way from the index. So in the center of the tube is the index. This opening here. So you count 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4 are the filament pins. So we should have resistance on these pins if that is any good whatsoever. So,
starting here, we got to glue at one segment at a time.
And I'll see if I can steady this up enough. Put this on here. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have resistance there, about 60 ohms, so no problems. So we know that this one here is okay. So we can put that back in. But first I want to show you this really odd tube socket. And I'll just zoom in on this. Little tube socket. completely hollow.
And you just gingerly push it against the wing root here. Wing root against the fuselage. Make sure that the top edges of the wing is fit very flush on top of the root of the fuselage. That way you know it's straight. No gaps, guys. No gaps at all. As you see, none at all. No. Just get a good buffing and it's done.
On this connection on the bottom side of the circuit board, right here, to hold the pin steady on top. Look at the pin.
And up here, you're going to have speed brakes up here. That's pretty high, pretty much to the joint that goes across here, which ain't no problem. I'm on that right now. We're going to make sure that the top wing, the wing half is flush up against the wing root of the fuselage.
So what I'll do, look at that, it's actually turned around there.
This is really a nice model, guys. I ain't too much on jets, but this here's a nice addition to anybody who likes jets, especially English. I love these British jets. I can remember I was a little kid growing up, young man growing up back in the late 50s and into the 60s. I used to see these fly in AP wire photos.
Now I know a lot of you are going to be saying, "Oh, that's
okay, guys. That wing is on there."
On the circuit board, while the tube's in the socket, you risk turning the tube. So I've done this so many times. Focus back on that there. I'll heat up my soldering iron, and I'll touch up these connections here, and then we'll try it again. Maybe that is the only issue. I might need to go on the underside here and resolder all the tube sockets. It's looking like a lot of the pins on this are cratered. Actually, you can see this one here.
Yeah.
Right around there as well. So it looks like a part of the tube socket's actually broken away. I think that's what's actually going on with this. That's why it looks so strange. So maybe I should just replace the tube socket. For now, let's just see if this will make things happen. So let's see if that brings this.
Very good. Very, very good.
Cheater cord again. I gotta remember after this. Again, if you're worried about dielectric absorption, this would be the time to remember to remove the short where you have some big issues. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'll back this out. And we'll take a look at it. Let's see if it's going to fix our problem. Alright, so pardon the focus for just a moment. Now, let's take a look at the bulbs here. I'll turn this back on and see if we get that bright and dim sort of thing happening.
That's pretty flush there, guys. That wing is. Always use your fingernail, kind of scratch up there. You feel a step there is not flush. You gotta make sure the top of this wing half is flush against the root of the fuselage.
And still nothing. So he's beyond that, we still have a bad tube. So that'll be the next thing, so let's keep on testing filaments.
Wonderful. That's good, guys. I like that.
Disconnected again.
Then we'll go over here and get this in here again.
I'm poking my fingers around in here.
Okay, here we go, boys. Here we go again.
Okay. So
yeah, there you go.
Let's try it inside this tube. Try it here, and diode there, and diode there. It's the FM thing called an FM discriminator circuit, probably. Anyways, so on these tubes, pin 4 and 5 are the filaments. So on these tubes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. So they need to be looking at the meter for pins 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3. As I'm touching this, it's a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It doesn't look like we have anything, do we? 9. Let's just take a quick look inside the glass bulb here. Yeah, 4 and 5. Those two pins right there.
Ah, wonderful. Boy, this thing fits good.
And that there run off to the filaments. That's what I just tested. And this has an open connection. So this is a 14 GT8, so 14 volts. And then factory identification number and 8 useful internal components. Sometimes you can look at it as 8 connections. So 14 GT8. So that's a pretty special tube. I'm going to have to go looking through my stuff to see if I have a 14 GT8 or some sort of equivalent. I recognize the design in the 6-volt series, but not in the...
Make the most of your holidays with the Kroger app. You can enjoy over $600 in digital coupons every week.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And earn fuel points to save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. The Kroger app makes it easy to save this holiday season. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Yeah, use this glue liberally, so make sure you got a good coat of glue around the swing joints here. Make sure it fits good against your fuselage here.
Fresh for everyone. 14. So I'm going to go do some tube hunting, and I will return. I spent hours trying to find this 14 GT8 in my tube stock, and since I'm reorganizing everything in the shop, moving everything around, and all my tube stock is all over the place right now, this is unobtainium. So I started doing some research about crossing this tube to something very similar, and I found that the 19T8.
You got to kind of squeeze the fuselage a little bit down just so to make sure it fits flush on top of the wing. In other words, you have a gap, not a gap, but a lip there, and there's a lot of sanding.
So the heater current is the same. The voltage is
You really got to check those joints when you do that stuff. There's no gaps in both wings, guys. It looks pretty good. It'll take just a little sanding on top of there, and the rest is buffing out.
Cooler, if anything. So, anyways, this tube here box up. See if it's the original. It is a Rogers tube. That's nice. I find a lot of people at the time they throw old tubes into the tube box and you find that you find an old tube in there. So this is a brand new tube. So this is the this is what a 19T8 looks like inside compared to a 14 GT8. So there's 2 diodes in here and a triode within this shell right here. So the only difference is that internally they're wired a bit differently. So the triode, which does the amplification in this, so that we can get some audio out of this, which is the preamp for this tube right here, that's all wired the same, and one diode is the same. The difference is the other diode is completely different. So if I grab the paper here, so if we take a look at the 19T8, you see we have one diode here, and then we have a diode plate here, which is one of those little plates right there, a diode plate here, and then the cathode that's common to both of those plates is this cathode here. Whereas on the original tube, we have 2 completely separate diodes with 2 completely separate cathodes, and then that's again completely separate from the triode itself. So I'm going to need to make this tube work with this circuit here, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. Basically, I'm going to be adding another diode into this. So I'll probably, this already has solid state components in it. It has a solid state rectifier, and it also has a solid state detector diode right down there, you can see. I'll just add 2 diodes into the FM detector, ratio detector circuit here, and that should make this thing hopefully operate as the next step. Okay, so still need to plug this thing in and see what happens, and we'll experience that together since that's what this is all about. So I'll get the line cord hooked up and everything all hooked up, and we'll plug the tube in and see what happens if we can get any AM. We should at least get AM.
Well, that glue right
know
there.
for a fact we won't get FM with this tube until I put the diodes in. Alright, I've got the line cord attached back up again. And I guess we should be able to put that tube.
Okay.
That's going to be helpful, wouldn't it? Yes. Put that in, and since I'm going to be moving some dials around, I should put some knobs on this thing, I guess, to make things a little bit easier. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the variac here, and we'll see what happens now when we turn this thing on. Okay, so we'll look up here, turn on the variac, make sure it's on current limit. So, okay, so there we go. And
I'll wait here. I'll make sure this wing is good and straight on here.
Went down, so just leave everything attached. So I'll turn the volume rate up.
Pretty good.
What it is. Okay.
No gaps. That's pretty good, guys.
You know, between the last shot and this shot here that you're seeing, it's been a few days. Just
You got your speed brake fits over here. I believe that's an opening for that's a recess opening for your speed brakes right across here. It looks like there's a crack between the fuselage, which isn't. It's a recess joint. That'll for your speed brakes.
Okay, so
okay. Let's do some checking here, guys.
Oh, I do hear noise. Listen to that. Aha, we have life. See what happens. Run around here. Oh, there is a station in there. Arm out of the shop there.
You look at its wing, it looks like an A4 Skyhawk.
There isn't much. So the lab is somewhat below ground here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a loop with my 369 antenna, just put a loop of wire across here, and that should couple in some signals from the outdoors into this, and we'll see how well this works. Alright, so I've got the coaxial lead running up to my antenna connection, which runs to the 369 antenna, which is an
okay, we'll flip from the back side. And what
and this is the coax.
Oh, it's pretty good back here too.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to short the coax. I'll short it, and I'll put that across.
Starting with the bottom left-hand panel, we'll go ahead, the bleeding edge, we'll go ahead and apply some glue on here.
So here we go. Zoom into this a little bit.
I like to put a lot of that glue on there.
So here's the, so put this around the bar antenna.
Well, that's nice, guys. This thing really looks good quite well. Just gotta watch. You gotta watch for up here, like I showed you a while ago. You gotta watch for this when you put the fuselage on there. In other words, you're gonna have problems.
It's going to be one of those ones that get drawn out that you got to remember a lot more.
So it's sounding pretty good. AM is working okay. No problems there whatsoever. Again, with the influence of a piece of shorted coax in there, so basically making a, I don't know, half turn
it's real good.
like that around this. So I put a few turns, it would get all that much better. But at any rate, so that works okay. So
one thing with certain, there's no gaps, but you gotta make sure that the top and bottoms have the wings are flush with the bottom and the top of the fuselage. Because you want to have the lips crossed over, because you do more sanding. You need the first thing to use filler to take that out.
So
With all this much detail, you want to stay away from that feller.
I will get on the underside and I'll put some diodes on this, and I'll show you what I've done, and then we'll try it.
Okay, now we got the
on the underside here is the
left bottom and top wing.
Not the entire area on this
left bottom wing, I should say.
Under this plate. So I desoldered this. I just stuck it.
Wonderful.
I soldered this. And then what I did is, I'll zoom on in. So
to say the least, this kit is very well engineered, to say that. Hornby, they really did their homework on this thing. They can apply that glue, it's got a little pressure against the fuselage, kind of hold there, and
Schottky diodes, and put them in place of the diodes that would normally.
It'll eventually set and dry.
Actually bridged across the original diode in the tube, and then this one here is the.
The thing will get a lot of appreciating.
In the wrong area. And I should also mention, I said that there was 2 diodes in here. I should actually mention, technically there is 3 with a common cathode. So that's this replacement here.
Okay, now look at the back over here.
Is, just put
I'll look at that next, right, like now.
So just fits onto those 2 posts, like so. By the way, the capacitor is safely discharged. I checked that before I went and did this because, well, the capacitor's sitting right here. And I wouldn't want to be sticking my fingers across that if it wasn't discharged. So I'll just put this on. There's enough just to have a connection here. I don't even really need
There's no gaps, children. No gaps at all.
Back on right now, and that's tight enough just to try this out and see how this works. Technically, I would say 90% of this printed circuit board should be reflowed.
A lot of pieces got to put on this thing, but you got to make sure this fuselage is pretty well prepared for you. Do any appreciating or painting.
You can see that, how it's basically has a crack all the way around it. All of the vacuum tube sockets need to be resoldered and everything like that. At least if I go through and you know, do an entire restoration on this. And after we see what the FM sounds like, we'll make a decision. Should we actually do an entire restoration on this or not? So I'll leave that up to you, and we'll see how many of you say yes. And if more of you say yes, then you know, the majority of the comments will go ahead and do an entire restoration on that. Requiring tapping and cleaning and all that kind of stuff too. So, anyways. So what I'll do now is let's hook this back up to the line.
No gaps.
Again. And I think we're good. This is in the FM position, is it? It is. Around that switch is sure crusty.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully that's going to be good. Alright. And I like to move the switches around a few times.
We're all standing right here. Because this is where the fuselage here meets with the fuselage module section right here before you glue to the top of the shells.
One of the things I really don't like is the way that they've done valve trimming this. I'll show you that in just a moment. They're really cutting costs with this radio.
Nice and flush.
We kind of went overboard in some areas, and in other areas we're just completely cutting costs. I just got it. See that?
What?
I hear FM.
Yeah, it's taking it out all right. Nice and smooth, and get rid of that joint where it joins the forward part of the fuselage where the wings stay at. I'm afraid that's the only place I'm going to get fillers right there. Add a little filler there. There's a touch right here. A touch right here.
That's working. Sounds like it needs tuning though, really bad on that alignment. So FM is working. So it did come to life with those 2 diodes and the tube. So the 19T8 is really more common in the 14T8. So that will definitely be left in there. And of course we need to resolder all the stuff on the bottom and everything. So what do you think? It's alive. Do you think we should go through and completely restore this and make it, you know, bring it back to normal again? Or do you think we should just move on to another project? This one here with me is kind of an iffy thing. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I could use this as parts. You know, it's got lots of useful parts in it. You know, the seat socket would have to be replaced. That's megahertz dial, and with a ratio detector. And I'll show you what I mean about the dial string. I'll give you the full tour here.
That's pretty good.
You see the dial string here, how they don't even have pulleys? You see the dial string is just rubbing there, so I'll move this along. Right? And from the friction, it's actually moving this clip around. There's nothing moves here. The string is just rubbing that post. So as you can see, a lot of cost-cutting methods, no dial light. Right? This is, no dial lighting at all, which is kind of odd. They're still using decent control.
Yeah.
Like the tuning condenser and the FM tuner in here might actually have had a license from somebody way back in the day. Right? So that might have been in the day automatic frequency control. So there might this is a packet they are using some things where they probably way back in the day had to pay licensing.
Wonderful.
For it and things like that. It does work. So, what do you think? Thanks for stopping by the lab today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you are enjoying my videos, you can let me know by giving
pretty
me
good.
a thumbs up and subscribe.
There'll be some areas of filter, I can tell you that.
As soon as I post a brand new video. If you're interested in taking your
The main thing, not as much filler.
to the next level and learning
Just enough, just a little bit, take the blemish out here and there.
and getting access to many of my personal electronic inventions and designs, definitely check out my ongoing electronics course on Patreon. I'll put the link just below the video description under the Show More tab, and I'll pin the link at the top of the comment section. I'll take the link there. Alright, until next time, take care. Bye for now.
Back here and seal this off and give it a coat of sanding.
Progress. Moving in a positive direction. We
Yeah.
don't want our lives to do that. Why is progress also in our name? We've always believed in change.
Jake's filter's not gonna be that much. I guarantee it ain't.
Vehicles to veterans. Further helping programs for families in need. That's why we're working to influence this more faith. For us,
Hi everyone.
Yeah, that's coming out real good.
I guess you could say it's part of Mr. Charleston's life for those of you that are new to this channel. Normally I'm in Mr. Charleston's life, but today I'm up in shop and I have a story to share with you. I get a question many times, Paul, what's a little bit more about your life, Mr. Charleston? So you want to tell me more about your life? You can call me Paul, by the way.
That's pretty good. I got it out real well. It's smooth.
And if you're returning, welcome back.
Smooth.
So this is a story how I got shocked within an inch of my life. Like this is a really bad electric shock that I got when I was a lot younger. So I'm very careful around electricity, and I always have been careful around electricity. In my teens, I was building high-powered RF amplifiers with voltage transformers. So those are the transformers that are on the pole outside of your house, and basically they're hooked in your roof. So you put in 240 and you get high voltage out of it.
Over here, get over here next to these intakes. Towards the fuselage here, and sand that stuff down. Go on, make a good flush. Oh, yeah, it's coming good flush now.
So I was working on a DAC radio. So this is a citizen sound radio. This is what the radio looks like here. All right, so that's a DAC. It's not the exact DAC that bit me, but this is what the radio looks like. So this radio had failed, and it's kind of a common failure.
Smooth there, guys. Nice and smooth.
Good, bad, doubts, good, bad, and
Take just a little brush of filter. That's all it's going to take.
Is the transformer goes away inside. So since the transformer.
Okay, now I'm going to go on top of the wing now, see how it goes.
Transformer with a power supply that I had just to do some testing on it, and that is this power supply right here in the back. So I have the power supply, 2 meters on it.
Use a small sanding stick. Does a really good job.
So that was attached into this radio, and I'm sitting at my workbench, and the DAC radio was attached to a dummy load at the time. time, this is a fake antenna for those of you that don't know what a dummy load is. So basically, it's a resistive load that's attached to the coaxial jack in the back.
Wow.
So that's all attached in the back.
That seems almost gone.
Got the power supply
It's amazing.
in the back of the radio and all these wires going in there, and I have a microphone on that radio as well. So the microphone is a D104 or a lollipop style microphone with a push-to-talk switch on the side. This is one of the earlier ones. It didn't have the push-to-talk on the base. It was just on the side of the D104. Or for those of you that are into TV radios, the D10 microphones. All right.
Little Sandy 6 do a good job. They really do.
So I'm working on the radio. I grabbed the microphone, and all of a sudden, my body's humming. All right, it feels like. Have you ever heard 60 or 100?
That seems gone. I can't even see where I put the wing on there.
Your body feels like it's vibrating like that. Even when you have DC pass through you, your body feels like it's vibrating at a fast rate. It feels like I guess what you would hear when you hear 60 cycle hum. It's kind of hard to explain, or maybe 120 cycle hum. At this point, it really doesn't matter. But there's DC going through me somehow, and I'm holding onto the microphone. And I can feel this, and my whole body shaking. I can think perfectly clear as this is happening, and I'm being shocked incredibly bad. And I'm thinking that to myself at this time. I'm thinking, wow, this is a really incredible shock. I have to let go of this microphone. I'm thinking that at that point, I'm thinking it's coming to the mic. And I don't know where the connection is. So I tried to let go of the D104, and I can't let go of the mic, which is unusual for direct current, right? You know,
yeah.
Makes your muscles tense.
That's not good.
This is very unusual. So I'm holding on to the microphone.
Wow, that's amazing.
I don't let go of this thing. And I can feel it, right? Shaking, it feels like it's ants all over your body. It feels like you're just...
Shit, that joint's gone. It's gone. Houdini could do a better job.
And of course, this is going across my heart, so I don't know where the other connection was to the stage, but it did burn a hole in my hand. That microphone, from that microphone, it burnt a hole. I have a cartilage ball in my hand right here, so it's quite the ball. And anyways, on the side, I'm holding on to this microphone. You know, and I'm thinking that, what I'm going to do.
Wow.
I'm just sitting there, convulsing, and I'm thinking I'm going to pass. And
Oh yeah,
this
is functional, the other's functional.
Something shoved
That's about it.
the chair I was sitting in, and I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Pushed me right out of the chair.
We're going to go under the
pulled the radio.
starboard wing.
Came down.
You got a little standing here too.
Big radio. It came off the bench. The D104 down. I was using it was very common for me to use old tube caddies with tool tips back then, because it was a great tool tip. So my tube caddy with some tools on it was on the floor beside me, and you know how they fold open, you can put the tubes in each side of it and you kind of fold shut right there. So the doors were open. I fell on it and busted the doors right off of my
Had those kids many wounds.
And
just now getting on this thing done. Trying to get it done. We're all built together the best way we can. I bought this kit 2013. Came out 2012. I remember buying it at Teddy's Hobby Shop, but he was the only one that sold Airfix kits in the Dayton area.
It didn't feel like I was disconnected. I was still buzzing as I was on the ground. I was not hooked up to anything. And I was still buzzing, and then that buzzing...
That's pretty good right there.
And I could feel my heart wasn't beating.
That's good, that gap was gone.
It's a very strange sensation. I could feel
look over here and sand the seat mount where the bottom and top fuselage center sections join.
My heart was just shaking, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah.
And I'm like gasping for air. I'm on the floor, and I'm gasping for air. And I laid there, and I kind of got my senses straight, and then I took a step up, And I walked down the hall to the loft, looked in the mirror, and it was white as a sheet of paper. Just completely white. My hands were white, the face was
Oh,
white,
that thing was gone.
and kind of felt
It's
sleepy.
gone.
So I sat down and I kind of settled
One thing I
down.
like about this Airfix plastic, it sands very remarkably easy.
This is early in the morning. I think honestly most of my life to work late in the evening, and at this point I was leaving. I was working late in the evening, and after this, I kind of, I guess, came to
Very incredibly easy.
settle down, drank a big glass of water, and I was
That thing was gone.
It was that bad.
Don't worry about the tilt pedals. I got those while I was building it. You don't need no stranding. Just the bottom wing, the top wing. Need a little sanding, and that's it.
It's like the ball, and it's still in there. You can feel it. And anyways, I'm looking, I'm going, wow. And to this day, I still don't know where the actual shock came from. I don't know, other than holding that D104, there had to be a path through my body. Now the chair that I was sitting in, it's kind of a red, kind of a cloth cover chair that had metal on it, and there's metal around the bottom, kind of like when my feet are here, there's some metal down there, you know? So maybe
Wow, that thing disappeared.
into that, and an alligator clip from power supply kind of fell down and touched that. Because again, I couldn't let go, I couldn't move. I was just stuck. And that's the only one time I've ever been electrocuted, and I've been, like I said, say shocked. I've never ever been shocked, and I've actually been stuck like that.
Pretty damn good, guys.
I couldn't move. It was
There's a little fiddle here and there. That's all it needs.
and that was a very scary feeling. So you always wonder on the channel, many of you always wonder on the channel, why do I talk about safety so much and warn everybody about the dangers of being shocked when working on electronics? Not even one. That's only one story.
He had one fellow on YouTube. I forget what his name was. He did a good job on his Javelin. Except one thing. He painted the other side white instead of being painted aluminum. I don't know, they may have been white, I don't know.
7,500 volts, things like that, and with a huge filter bank of capacitors. One of the amplifiers of the two capacitors is this big, and got two big porcelain insulators on the top. So they are capacitors with oil filled caps in the bottom of the actual
Always one for panel lines.
anyways, if, you know,
Boy, you get this thing a good wash. They'll really pop up real well too. That's what I'm saying. When you put filler on here and primer, that's just pre-shade. That's your primer.
So that's why I talk about safety so much, and I push it. I talk a lot about safety. I warn every time I'm in a video and I'm working on something, I always want people to be very, very safe, and that's why I know some of you.
Boy, that thing's flush.
You don't need to do it because you know you're cool over cost.
But we'll see the little filler. Just make sure, extra insurance that it's filled. But I don't like seams. It takes away from the model. It makes it look dull.
Not dealing with electricity, but dealing with mechanical objects as well. So I will share some of those stories in another Shock Talk episode. So
People standing right here. I must have missed that.
And,
Well, if I'm leaving the edge of the wing, it meets the fuselage right here.
now I'm extremely careful.
One thing good about light, you always gotta do this all the time. And that will give you reflected light on it. It'll show you where your mistakes are at. Oh, that's gone now.
I have an electronics course on Patreon, and I push the safety out there as well as down here. So if you're not going to hear it here, you're going to hear it there. It's just but I've built power supplies up there as well with plans and everything.
Oh, that's gone. Oh boy.
You can read on the circuit boards that I've designed, high voltages and arrow pointing points. So yeah, I'm very cautious now, and I will keep being cautious, and I will keep warning all of you about electricity if you're playing with anything that's in vacuum tube or any of the stuff that you see around me.
Still checking it out, guys. Wow.
All these old radios up that you see up on the top, and all of these oscilloscopes and this test here, all of it.
A little more standing right about here.
And at some pretty high currents as well. So this is the stuff that I deal with on this channel. And of course I've designed modern stuff as well. You've seen the capacitor stuff that I've designed, and the size tester, and I've designed
Oh man, that's not gone.
CNC SIT, the signal injection probe, and the super probe, and all that stuff. I've designed all that stuff. Yeah, I designed solid state and vacuum tube stuff. So anyway, but I really like working on the old stuff. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe I'm just a glutton for content. I really don't know. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the story, and if you want to learn more about electronics and have access to my inventions and designs, which are, well, they're out there. You can find many of my inventions and designs online all over the place.
Okay, see here.
And all that stuff. But if you want the plans and all the information about
here,
design, or if you just want to take part in the electronics course and learn maybe some things about electronics that you don't know, or if you just want to support the channel, definitely check out Patreon. Many levels up there, and levels that will also give you direct access to my personal email as well. So if you're in a very big project and you need some help with your project, you can sign up to that level, and I'll talk to you via email. So anyway, that's all over. You can check that out. There's also about 70 videos there for you to enjoy as well. Alright, I put the video, or the link to featuring just below this video.
Wonderful.
And I'll also pin the link at the top of the comment section. You can click on that.
It's wonderful, fellas.
Alright, so next time, hope you enjoyed this. And I'll have many more stories. I have lots and lots of interesting stories. Some of the crazy things that I did when I was younger. And not
Yeah.
as well.
That's pretty good. Let's see over here. Yeah, I'll go over here a little bit more. It'll be done. Well, the trailing is this here wing. Right about here. Yeah.
In a way, it is a form of decoupling. You can look at it like that, right? You know, they're putting that in there to
Oh, wow.
stop oscillation, right?
Gone.
So they're all over the place, all over this thing. So I think we're a little bit more decoupling to the scope. So if you are working on a tester like this, it might be something that you might want to consider. Check the capacitor closer to the actual rectifier. Again, that's just improving the design. Right? So both of these will be here. Another thing that you're going to need to do is this one
right there.
because this is on a negative supply.
Look at the intake right about there.
This capacitor is going to the chassis, and the negative is going to the two chassis. Again, this is a negative bias across. Don't put that cap in backwards if you're replacing it. So you have to know one of the little diodes. So there's two diodes in the slide. Little tube. So you can see the diode structures in there. The diodes are these structures on each side. So that's the diode there. And on this side, that's the diode. And right in the center is a triode. Right, so if you were to look at this through modern eyes, technically that would be maybe a 1N4AA7, a 1N4AA7, and then you would have a J set in the middle. So that's basically how
Yeah.
you know, you could look at this, there's three.
Like I said before, can we build this? Yes, we can.
Depending on how you want to look at it.
And we are building them.
Without any other components, right? So we're trying to reduce the size of vacuum tubes way back when, so they were making multi-element tubes. And of course they went into compact films and everything way back when. So the compact film is what fits in actually the socket right there.
Wonderful.
You see that only the filaments are wired.
Could get on those cone area.
Most commonly the pin one itself and the compact film socket is most commonly the filament. So it's compact film. So it's wired the filaments, but there's left organization. So if you wanted to wire this to some particular tube that you wanted to test, you have that option. That's the reason to put this in the plug-in pin. So they were nice enough to do that. And, you know, if you were very, very careful, you could actually even put another tube socket in down here. You know, so you wanted some form of Movavi socket or something like that in the bottom there. You have some odd tube socket, maybe an 807 socket you wanted to put in here.
Well, those cones, there's some kind of a seam down there where it's joined. So just make sure that's sanded nice and flush with the fuselage. And it does sand very flush.
higher difficulty. But anyway, enough of that. Another thing I did notice as I was looking around here, because I'm trying to spot places to improve the design and improve communication and all that, I did spot what looks to be a little bit of crack on the bottom of this resistor. So, and I noticed the kit looks a little bit pale for an Allen Bradley resistor.
Because this is a real nice kit, guys. I think you guys got the stash. I suggest building it. It sure ain't going to build itself.
Right there.
What I'm really puzzled about is they still make these anymore.
So, at that point, what I did is...
Because I know they need so many Hellcats and Typhoons and 124 scale range. But this is probably sold a lot better at hobby shops. Nothing right home around my area, I tell you, that's damn sure. Everything you have to get online.
475 ohms. And after this would be 390.
I'm going to have it pull the thing away from the camera so you guys can see what the hell I'm doing here. Okay, fellas, I'm about the end of my rope right now.
And brown, 390 at 10%.
Okay.
Again. That's gone past the next value. The next value up actually is 470 ohms. So it's actually gone one complete value up plus. So that resistor has to go. So we'll replace that one as well. Get rid of that one.
Okay, guys, this we did together.
All the capacitors here, and
we got all this.
When I come back, if I change anything else in the design, I'll let you know.
What I am going to do is go ahead and off camera add some filler around these areas which needs it. Just for extra insurance. Really, there's not that much filler it needs. These gaps are gone. I mean, they're. But at the present, there even shows that the wing was even glued there.
The thing was pretty soaked with contact.
Yeah.
So there's a cap here.
It's a wonderful, wonderful jet.
There's quite a bit of space.
Beautiful. That's gonna have filler there for sure.
They're not touching this.
Take care of that. This is all good. Okay, guys, we're going to take it back to the camera and finish up the video. Thanks for joining along here, and we'll turn the camera back to me and tell you what we're doing next. Okay, Frankie boy, let's go change cameras. Okay, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed that live action video on the Javelin. Off camera, I went ahead and put some putty on this. This is about as much as there is on it. See, I was trying to say, guys, when you sand a lot, you don't need that much filler. But those spots that got it, then it won't take much to sand that down. At this stage, this thing will be sanded down and be prepared, ready for pre-shading. But before I start doing any pre-shading, I'm going to add the goodies on there, like speed brakes and the undercarriage and the rest of the parts. And after that, it'll be ready for pre-shading. And I've got to make a kind of selection what kind of ordnance I got to put on this thing. And I'll get to that as I assemble this thing more. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and set this thing aside and let it dry overnight, attend to it another time. But meanwhile, I'm going to finish up this Constitution back here and then my P-40, and I'll have done well shed final bill of both airplanes tomorrow. Right after this video, we're going to do a live action on the Airfix Red Stripe 1/72 scale 1964 release of the PBY 5-day Catalina flying boat. That's going to be a good video right there for you. I'm thinking that live action there, this one, I'll think I'll go ahead and just do it right here. You can still see me and I can show you, and see that camera more live action later on, but right here would be fine. Okay, I can't think of anything else, fellas. All I know is I'll knock them out pretty good. So I just want to finish up what I got on the plate right here and get my ships going and get them going. And I got a couple planes too once in a while. Okay, this is it for me. This is it for the Javelin. Before I close the video, I can't stress anymore. Anybody has one of these in your stash, build it. Anybody has built one before understands. And lastly, if you think about buying one of these, if you're inspired by it, get one. You will not be disappointed. It goes good like a dream. It's very well engineered. But just one thing of caution, watch up here. Up here. Because it'll lip on you. The key is to it is pushes this intersection down as you lock the shell, it'll push up, you walk in there. Right there I kept on fooling with it. Snap it in there. She says, wow, that's wonderful. So I was kind of puzzled right there. I had a lip like that. That does not look right. It looks like something ain't right there. So why would a lip be there for? It should be smooth. I was wrong. I cross-reference on watching YouTubers who built this kit and look at the finished product, and I always look at the top there, and sure enough, it's like this. It's all fair down. You can't see it. So that's my error. I should have paid attention. Shame on me. But lesson learned. Nothing lost, Mr. Christian. Nothing lost. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. Like I said, let's get to another day. We have live action on that PBY right there. Okay, this is it for me. This is it for the Javelin, and we'll catch you on live action on that PBY 5A. Don't miss that. We'll have two final reveals tomorrow, so don't miss those either. And thank you very much, guys. I appreciate everything. And make mama happy. Take care of the little ones. Stay focused when you drive. And say your prayers and take care of yourselves. And thank you, everybody. And we'll catch you on the next video. Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves, fellas. Okay, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed that live action video on the Javelin. Off camera, I went ahead and put some putty on this. This is about as much as there is on it. See, I was trying to say, guys, when you sand a lot, you don't need that much filler. But those spots have got it, and it won't take much to sand that down. At this stage, this thing will be sanded down and be prepared, ready for pre-shading. But before I start doing any pre-shading, I'm going to add the goodies on there, like speed brakes and the undercarriage and the rest of the parts. And after that, it'll be ready for pre-shading. And I've got to make a kind of selection what kind of ordnance I'm going to put on this thing. And I'll get to that as I assemble this thing more. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and set this thing aside and let it dry overnight and tend to it at another time. But meanwhile, I'm going to finish up this Constitution back here and then my P40, and I'll have done. We'll share the final reveal of both airplanes tomorrow. Right after this video, we're going to do a live action on the Airfix Red Stripe 1/72nd scale 1964 release of the PBY 5-day Catalina flying boat. So that's going to be a good video right there for you. I don't think of that live action there. This one, I don't think I'll go ahead and just do it right here. You can still see me and I can show you, and see that camera more live action later on. But right here would be fine. Okay, I can't think of anything else, fellas. All I know is I'll knock them out pretty good. So I just want to finish up. Well, I got a plate right here and get my ships going and get them going. And I got a couple planes too once in a while. Okay, this is it for me. This is it for the Javelin. Before I close the video, I can't stress anymore. Anybody has one of these in your stash, build it. Anybody has built one before understands. And lastly, if you think about buying one of these, if you're inspired by it, get one. You will not be disappointed. It goes good like a dream. It's very well engineered. But just one thing of caution, watch up here. Up here. Because it'll lip on you. The key is to it is pushes this intersection down as you lock the shell, it'll push up, you walk in there. Right there I kept on fooling with it. Snap it in there. She says, wow, that's wonderful. So I was kind of puzzled right there. I had a lip like that. That does not look right. It looks like something ain't right there. So why would a lip be there for? It should be smooth. I was wrong. I cross-reference on watching YouTubers who built this kit and look at the finished product, and I always look at the top there, and sure enough, it's like this. It's all fair down. You can't see it. So that's my error. I should have paid attention. Shame on me. But lesson learned. Nothing lost, Mr. Christian. Nothing lost. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. Like I said, let's get to another day. We have live action on that PBY right there. Okay, this is it for me. This is it for the Javelin, and we'll catch you on live action on that PBY 5A. Don't miss that. We'll have two final reveals tomorrow, so don't miss those either. And thank you very much, guys. I appreciate everything. And make mama happy. Take care of the little ones. Stay focused when you drive. And say your prayers and take care of yourselves. And thank you, everybody. And we'll catch you on the next video. Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves, fellas.